What's up, guys? Jen Castaneda here. Good morning on this beautiful, beautiful day. Today, I'm going to share a quick video with you about having all these tools and not using them. Having all these tools that you probably learn how to meditate, how to walk, go for a walk when you're not feeling good, exercise, hypnotherapy, EFT sessions, and how come we don't use it? Happens to all of us. Happens to me. Happens to all of us at some point. So this conversation came up because one of my girlfriends saw the video I was doing when I was tapping about overwhelm and procrastination, and she said, "Oh, I saw your video. I didn't really hear it, but I saw that you did it." She said, "I know how to do EFT. I'm certified in EFT. I actually have a lot of tools that I've learned over time. I just don't use them." And so I asked her, "What stops you? What do you think stops you from using them?" And she felt like it was human nature. So I felt like I needed to share about that because I've been there too. Over the years, since the age of 28 is the first time I remember taking an anger management class. That now I'm 37, so almost a decade worth of tools. And do I always use them? And do I always exercise them when I need them? And the answer to that is no. Of course, I go through my struggles, and I think for myself, life is meant to be lived on life's terms, and it's meant to have those struggles so that, number one, you can grow stronger, and number two, you can teach someone else and help someone else when they go through those struggles as well. It's not for us to go at it alone. The other thing is that it also involves us getting humble when we have struggles and when we have tools and still don't use them. There might be a piece where if we use them, then why do we need anybody else? Why would we need to reach out to someone else and say, "Hey, I'm having a hard time. Hey, have you ever felt this way? Hey, can you help me through? Hey, can you take a walk with me?" If we could use all our tools at the perfect time and never feel down and always do exactly what we're supposed to do, we would never have that camaraderie, that community, and we'd feel alone because we think we have to be superheroes. So I think we're meant as humans to ask for help and just not to suffer alone. I know that the suffering will come. That's almost a guarantee. The pain will come with losses, with things we weren't expecting, with things we think are unfair. Those are going to come. That's life on life's terms. But to learn that we don't need to do it alone, to learn to say, "I can't do this right now. I don't know how to get up off my couch. I don't know how to get out of this job. I don't know how to get out of this relationship," and ask for help and share that with someone, that is growth for you. And that is sometimes the journey. So the journey isn't sometimes it's what it takes to get to it that is part of the journey. So that's number one. Number two is like different things are going to work at different times. So maybe some of your tools for a certain amount of time was doing EFT. Maybe some of your tools was doing a layers letter. Maybe it was walking. As we grow, the tools that we need are going to evolve. So maybe sometime therapy was enough. But then maybe it didn't become enough, and it's okay. It doesn't mean it's not working. It means it's not for you. That tool is not for you at this time anymore. That there's a different tool to be used. Sometimes people use me as a coach, as a tool. They'll call me, we work together for 3 to 6 months, sometimes a year, and then they'll go off and now they don't need a coach anymore. Does that mean it's less valuable, it stopped working? No, it means that they have evolved to a different place, and then maybe a couple years later, again, they'll call back and say, "Hey, Jen, can I get a session?" So again, it's where you are and recognize, what is it that I need in this moment? So the question is, I guess my challenge for you today is, if you have a bunch of tools, they are not, you're not using them, B, you wish you were, but you're not. My challenge to you is to reach out and tell someone. My challenge to you is say, "Hey, that's the first step to realize something is up. What's going on? What's stopping me from this? What's going on? What is it that I'm trying to prevent?" Because if you use a tool, there's going to be a solution, right? If you start using tools, you're going to get somewhere. And maybe that place where you think you're going to end up is scary to you. So maybe if I use my tools of boundaries, I will end up with no relationship, because maybe the relationship I'm in doesn't have healthy boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So the solution is have boundaries, to spend more time with my family and my friends. But I know that if I do that, it will inadvertently lose out on this person. And that's scary too. So it's scary to be with someone who isn't available to you. It's also scary to not be with someone at all. And sometimes our mind has to balance that out, because our soul knows the answer. So what I'm saying today again is I have another thing to share about tools. So I said that they don't always work during that time because we're growing. So sometimes things that worked once aren't going to work again for now. Asking for help, reaching out. And then the third thing is, like I said, be aware of what is it that's to come. If you use that tool, are you scared of the solution that's going to come? I had a client once that she was scared to lose weight, because every time she lost weight, and she would end up cheating on her husband because she felt she felt like in her mind she would flirt more and she would be more available to guys, and therefore, so inadvertently she was keeping the weight on. She didn't know that at first, but as we did work, she realized that, oh crap, I'm scared of that. I'm scared to lose weight. And it is scary. People think like, oh, what would be wrong about being successful? Well, if I'm successful, am I going to be able to still hang out with my friends? Am I still going to be able, if I get responsible, am I still going to be able to do this? If I get all this work done, will I still be able to X, Y, and Z? So there might be something you're losing out on. This is what I want to share too. I don't have all the answers for you. I don't have all the answers for you, especially if we're not talking. If I don't know your personal information, you know about you more than me, of course. But what I will share is that, for me, God opens doors and God closes doors, right? And sometimes we just have to stand in the hallway and check it out. So putting up a letter to God, writing a letter, talking to your God, getting in love with your God, being intimate with your higher power says a lot. Because sometimes in my life, the most times where I've been stuck, now looking back, has been the times where I stepped away from my higher power, wanting to do it on my own, wanting to will myself through it, will myself to do this, will myself to do that, push myself because but motivation can only get you so far. There has to be that inspiration, that inspired feeling that you have inside of you. So that's another avenue for you. So I'm going to go back. I'm doing some AA service today. I love Alcoholics Anonymous. Whatever I ever share about Alcoholics Anonymous is only my experience only. But today I get to do some service work where we vote on things and make things happen. I'm really happy to be able to give back. That's one of the ways to get out of my head when my tools aren't working sometimes, is help someone else. And when I say help someone else, because we're so quick to help other people, right? We're so quick to help other people. But you're never going to help. You're really not helping someone when you're running on empty. You're really not helping someone when you haven't been using your own tools and your own work. Because really there's still some energy that comes off of it, with whether it's resentment on your end or whether they don't get to learn either. Because if you always doing for someone else first than you, and you're always putting more, you're inadvertently teaching that person, that child, that they should continue doing the same thing. And let me ask you, your children, your people, do you want them to put themselves first, or do you want them to put other people first? And I bet your answer is you want them to be put first because you love them and care about them. But if you're teaching them by example, then you're not doing the same thing. So I think it is human nature to love others, and we really want to love others and not like an action-based way, and not in a let me show you how much I love you by how much I do for you. No, let me show you how much I love you by the way I love myself. Let me show you how much I love you and how much I care about you, that I am willing to put in this work for myself so that I can hold a greater container. That's freaking love, dude. Like, that's love. That's like love that sustains. Because eventually, if I keep do for you, eventually I'll get tired. And who's going to be there for you? Not me, because I'm tired. Or upset, or sleeping, or can't take it anymore, or beside myself and drinking and numb somewhere else. So there's no greater love than sustaining yourself. Yeah. All right, that's my message for you today. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.